Campbeltown is a town and former royal borough in Argyll and Bute, Scotland. It lies by Campbeltown Loch on the Kintyre peninsula. Originally known as Kinlochkilkerran, it was renamed in the 17th century as Campbeltown after Archibald Campbell was granted the site in 1667. Campbeltown became an important centre for shipbuilding and Scotch whisky, and a busy fishing port. Whisky. Campbeltown is one of 5 areas in Scotland categorised as a distinct in-malt whisky-producing region, and is home to the Campbeltown single malts. At one point it had over 30 distilleries and proclaimed itself the whisky capital of the world. However, a focus on quantity rather than quality, and the combination of Prohibition and the Great Depression in the United States, led to most distilleries going out of business. Today only 3 active distilleries remain in Campbeltown: Glen-Scotia, Glengyle, and Springbank. The well-known folk song titled Campbeltown Loch, I Wish You Were Whisky, is based on the town's history in this industry. Culture. There are several listed buildings in Category A in the town and include the following. Campbeltown boasts a museum and a heritage centre. The museum has a varied collection of items from Campbeltown's past, and prehistoric items excavated from sites around Kintyre, such as axe-heads, jewellery and combs. The 19th-century building, by John James Burnet, also houses a library and has plaques or exhibits related to famous Kintyre people, for example, William McTaggart and William McKinnon. Near the museum is the cinema known as the Wee Picture House, a small but distinctive Art Nouveau building of the Glasgow School dating from 1913 and believed to be the oldest surviving purpose-built cinema in Scotland. These buildings are on the waterfront, as is a 14th-century Celtic cross that also served as a mercat cross. St. Kieran lived in this area before the town existed. A cave named after him can be visited at low tide, as can the cave on nearby Devar Island where pilgrims and tourists go to see a 19th-century crucifixion painting. Campbeltown also hosts the annual Mull of Kintyre Music Festival, which has seen acts ranging from up-and-coming local bands to well-established groups such as Deacon Blue, The Stranglers and Idlewild perform. A recent addition has been the Kintyre Songwriters Festival, a fairly low-key annual gathering aimed at promoting the wealth and variety of original music across the area. The festival is held during the last weekend of May and is open to anyone interested in performing. On Friday, the 16th of June 2006, First Minister Jack McConnell flew to Campbeltown to officially open Campbeltown's new Aquilibrium Centre. Aquilibrium, designed by Page Park Architects, replaced the old Campbeltown swimming pool, which closed 7 years ago due to safety concerns, and houses Campbeltown's library, swimming pool, gym, conference centre and Muscle Ebb Cafe. The Kintyre Camanachd are a local shinty team that belongs to the Camanachd Association. In May 2012, Campbeltown and Dunoon were jointly named in a report by the Scottish Agricultural College as the rural places in Scotland most vulnerable to a downturn. The Vulnerability Index ranked 90 Scottish locations according to factors associated with economic and social change. Transport. Campbeltown Airport lies near the borough, and a scheduled service runs between here and Glasgow International Airport on weekdays and some summer Sundays. The town is the westernmost town in Great Britain by reference to which it has the population of a large village, laying claim to its town status due to port status and its central close grid of streets. Near the end of a long peninsula makes for a time-consuming road journey, and to some extent the area relies on sea and air transport, like the Inner Hebrides. However, it is linked to the rest of Scotland by the A83 and A82. Bus service is provided by West Coast Motors. Ferries sail from Campbeltown to Ballycastle in Northern Ireland, operated by Kintyre Express. An earlier service had been suspended in June 2002. The new service, which runs to Ballycastle every Friday to Monday during summer months and on Mondays and Fridays during the winter months, commenced in 2011. In 2006, a foot passenger ferry operated by Kintyre Express ran between Campbeltown and Troon every Monday, Wednesday and Friday with a crossing time of 1 hour in calm weather. By 2007 this ferry no longer ran, although the vessel can be chartered privately. Starting the 23rd of May 2013, Caledonian McBrain began operating a pilot ferry service to Ardross and calling at Brodick on Saturdays. Campbeltown was linked to Machrihanish by a canal that was superseded by the Campbeltown and Machrihanish Light Railway, that closed in 1932. The railway, which was originally built to serve the Machrihanish coalfield, ran from Campbeltown Railway Station to Machrihanish Railway Station. Climate. As with the rest of the British Isles and Scotland, Campbeltown experiences a maritime climate with cool summers and mild winters. The nearest official Met Office weather station for which online records are available is at Campbeltown Airport, RAF Machrihanish, about 3 miles west of the town centre. The lowest temperature to be reported in recent years was -12.9 degrees Celsius during December 2010. Language. Campbeltown is one of the few communities in the Scottish Highlands where the Scots language predominated in recent centuries, rather than the previously widespread Scottish Gaelic, an enclave of lowland Scots speech surrounded by Highland Scottish speech. This was due to the plantation of lowland merchants in the borough in the 17th century. The dominant position that lowland Scots had in the town has today been taken by the English language, in the form of the Scottish English dialect. Notable people: Hugh Henry Brackenridge, American writer, lawyer, judge, and justice of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Alexander Beth, divine and author. T. Lindsay Galloway, civil and mining engineer and coal master of Argyll Colliery. James Gerald Gulliver, founder of Argyll Foods. Sir William Mackinnon, 1st Baronet, Scottish shipowner and businessman. Norman MacLeod, Scottish divine and miscellaneous writer, served at the parish of Campbeltown. Father of Norman MacLeod. Norman MacLeod, Scottish clergyman and author. Angus MacVicar, author and broadcaster. Neil Matheson, chemist and businessman. Neil McBain, professional footballer and football manager. Duncan McNab McEachran, P. Canadian veterinarian and academic. Paul McCartney, musician, singer, songwriter and leader of Wings and a member of the Beatles, owns a farm near the town. Jill McGowan, British writer of mystery novels. Jamie McIver, BBC Scotland broadcaster. Gilbert McKechnie, Ontario merchant and political figure. Dan McPhail, professional footballer who made 437 appearances in the Football League. John Neil Munro, journalist and author of biographies. Rodney Patterson, English yachtsman. George Peary, artist who was associated with the Glasgow Boys in the 1880s. Kieran Prendergast, diplomat and a former Under-Secretary-General for Political Affairs at the United Nations. Bob Purcell, footballer who played for Liverpool in the early 20th century. Peter Purcell, footballer. He won 1 cap for Scotland in 1914. James C. Russell, moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. Angus Stewart, Lord Stewart, lawyer and Senator of the College of Justice, a judge of the Supreme Courts of Scotland. John Stewart, Australian politician. Gerald Tate, Olympic sailor. Lawrence Tynes, placekicker in the National Football League, grew up in Campbeltown when his father was with the U.S. Navy. Denzil Merrick, author of Kinloch novels.